Let's create a stunning purple flower using ribbon in just one simple petal pattern.
Isn't this pretty? This is the flower that you're going to make today. Here's another version of it, just a little different center bobble. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you today how to create this. But in the beginning, what I want to do is show you the things that I feel are necessary in order to make this be a success for you. Number one, I always use something called thread magic. And anytime that I am doing embroidery work or stitching with a hand needle like this, I would very gently run this through the thread magic. And what it does is it gives a light coating onto the thread and reduces the friction between the thread and, in this case, the satin ribbon, or it can be anything that you're working with fabric. It doesn't stain, it doesn't leave a mark, but it's great for reducing the tension, and I absolutely love it. I also use a number 5 embroidery needle. The needle is your choice. I like it because it's got a nice big eye and I can see what I'm threading. Now, when it comes to the ribbon, I am always using a satin ribbon, and you have to make sure when you're looking at this in the store that it does say that it is a satin ribbon, because I've seen some that are, I think they're a polyester, but it's got to be, it can be a mix of a polyester and a satin, but you've got to make sure that it's the kind that's going to be good quality. And what you're going to need for that, for this one, is a good quality satin ribbon. And then to cut your ribbon slices, you've probably seen the videos on YouTube already, where what they have done is they will take the ribbon and they will cut it. But then what they will do, rather than having the pinking scissors and using those, they will have, for example, a flame, some kind of like a candle or something, a heat source, and they will run this right above it, and that sears this off so that it doesn't shred. That's important. But because I teach a lot of kids, I don't want them to have to worry about that. So I use my pinking scissors. And when I do that, it automatically stops this from shredding, which is exactly what you want. So here are the things that I really feel I need. One is to have a good needle, and I use an embroidery number 5 to do this particular work. I have the thread magic, which I use all the time when I'm doing hand sewing. My pinking scissors, which allow me to cut here and to avoid having any kind of shredding. And then I have a product that's called Buckram or Crinoline. And you can get this where you get the fusibles in your store. And I cut a piece of this off. It is stiff, flexible, but stiff. And I use this to attach each of my petals as I go around. I have much more control about how this is all going to lay out versus if I gather them all together, tied a knot, and then tried to maneuver them. And then I just finish it off nicely in the back with a piece of felt. You're going to need 1.5 inch wide fabric. This is the ribbon, the silk ribbon, and 3 inches in length. And you need to cut 8 of those. And that should be all that you need outside of whatever you want to use for your decoration. Beads, baubles, pins, whatever you want to put in there. So we're going to start out by taking one of these and I'm going to pinch this at the half mark, just so that I have kind of a guide as to where the half mark is. And then I'm going to take this corner and bring it down and make sure that I've got my angles clean. That's important. Now I know this isn't going to stay because if I let it go, it pops back up. So in order to keep this down so that I can continue to create, I'm going to pin this one down. And I'm going to do the same maneuver on this side. Okay? And smooth this out. I don't like this. So, you know why? Let's see. I think what I'm going to do is trim this down and make this more even. That was at a funny angle. So I'm going to bring this down to about the halfway point. finger press it and put a pin here so that I can keep it in that shape. Otherwise, it'll pop back out. Do the same thing on this side. Bring this side down. Hold it. Pin it. There. Okay? I'm going to do that 8 times. Okay, I have all 8 of them done. I have white thread in my with my needle so that you can see what I'm doing. And I started with purple and then decided you couldn't see anything if I did that. So, put that aside for now. I have these 2 pinned down. What I'm going to do is a stitch right across here to just tack these down. No, it doesn't have to be a wide stitch or a short stitch, whatever is convenient for you. The goal is to make sure that you've got all these pieces kind of tacked down. You can remove this pin at this point because you're not going to need it from now on. And so I'm just going to walk my needle right across here till I get to the end and run it through and then tie it off. I'm not going to gather it. I'm going to leave it just like that. Tie a knot, cut off the thread, and go on to the next one. So I'm going to do this with all 8 of them, and then we'll come back and go to the next step. I think it's important to do each step 7 or 8 times, however number of petals that you have, because for memory, it'll be a lot easier for you to remember how this goes, and you get better the more that you stitch these techniques. So like if we had 1 petal and I took you through all the steps of the 1 petal all at one time, you'd still be starting almost from 0 when you got to the 2nd petal, because you haven't learned really the habit of, oh, this is how this goes. So I'm going to pull this pin out. You can pull it out anytime you want. It's only there so that we can keep the ribbon from popping back up. It keeps it all down, which is what you want. And when we get all these done, we're going to go on to the next step. So we have 2 done now. No stretch to it. There we go. Let's go on to the 3rd one. Okay, so I have 1 petal, and I've stitched it across to keep this all anchored down. And now what I'm going to do is turn it over, and this is the imaginary center line right here where the peak is. I'm going to take one end and I'm going to flip it over and cross over the center line, keeping this baseline everything even down there. Excuse me, and then I'm going to do the same thing and cross over on this side. Okay, so now it looks like this. I'm holding it together with my fingers. Then I'm going to fold this to the center so that now it looks like this, or it looks like the petal. So at this point, I'm going to take my thread. In this case, it's marked in white thread, and I'm going to secure this. I've already used the thread magic on my thread to make sure that I can glide easily through this. Just to be sure, I also have a habit of wanting to wrap these, you guys. That way, down here where it's kind of frilly, I'm pretty sure, 99% sure, that nothing is being left out. Nothing's going to surprise me and pop out. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'll wrap it once, and it'll tighten as I tie it up. So now I've got 3 done. 1, 2, 3. Okay? And so I'm going to continue on and get all 8 of them done. All right, I'm ready to tack these on to the buckram. So I'm going to just lay this one here, come from the back, come up here, and attach the first petal. I'm trying to come up approximately where the threads are. There they are. And then to come right back down, and pretty close to the same area. I'm just trying to tack this down. let's see here. Let's give it maybe another little tie. Yeah, this time I'm going to go right here and anchor it down that way and tie this off. Attach the two together, tie a knot, come back down and tie it in the back. Come up here, you don't have to follow these exact stitch steps that I've got. Whatever works for you. Just know that the goal is you're wanting to get all of these onto the buckram and form a circle. They're going to be a little bit scrunched and irregular while you're putting them all together. You can shape them up a little bit better once you've got everybody on here. So then here is my third one. I'm going to connect it to its buddy right next door. And let's see, I think I want to shape this a little bit. So I'm going to put my thumb here and bring this back down here. And tie this one off. So I'll continue doing this with all 8 of my petals. Like I said, I've made these before where I haven't used all 8, but it's good to have it here. Sometimes I do 6, sometimes I do 8. It kind of just depends on how each petal has, what fullness each petal has. Okay, so tie this one off and we'll continue on, and I'll come back to you when I've got them all on here. So here it is. It is all stitched together, and all you have to do now is just have a bobble and add that to it right there. I did color the thread because it is white, and I wanted this to look finished when it's done. So I just used a regular Sharpie marker and colored that off a little bit. If you're using purple thread, you can't even see where the stitches are, which is important. So what you do is just glue that on there, any bobble that you have that you want, and you're ready to go. But I want to show you one extra special thing here. Here's the way the pattern is for you, but I took the pattern and I reversed the petals. It's the very same petal, but I just did it in reverse, and I'll show you what I mean. When we're doing this one right here, we take this petal and we folded it over this way, and we folded it over this way, and it pinched together and it became one of these petals. Just do it in reverse. Take this end. By reverse, I mean you've got the open end right here. You've got this open end, and you fold this one over, and then you fold this one over. Very same process, just you're doing it on the other side. And then you pinch this together. Put this down. I got too many things in my hands. 1, and then 2, and then pinch the 2 together. Let me bring this back over for you. Got a whole different looking petal. Here's the one you're doing today. It's the same petal, only in reverse. Isn't that beautiful? Now let's say you did this one in purple and you did this one in yellow. Completely different design work. So I hope you had a good time enjoying doing this. I loved teaching you, and thanks for watching. If you liked this video, I hope that you will subscribe. I thoroughly enjoyed making it for you, and I hope that you got something out of it. Also, when you subscribe, you really do help our channel a lot. It helps us to continue to bring to you the very best in art quilting techniques, designs, and artists. Thank you again for watching.